Live.
I'm excited because I found out you can see the comments in StreamYard, which I totally didn't know you could do. And now
what do you mean?
A whole new world. When I did my first live stream on my channel, I didn't actually know that there's a separate tab for private chat and then comment. Yeah. And then I figured that out doing it on my end. I'm like, oh.
Well, how did you think it was happening?
I don't know. I just used to read. I just used to have a separate YouTube window open up to read the chat. So
you didn't know all this time that you can read chat in StreamYard?
No.
What?
Yeah, I just found out.
Such a weirdo.
Well, now I know. This is great. Look, I can see all the chat popping up. This is great.
I can't believe how many streams you've been on.
A lot. I've been on a lot of live streams, and I didn't know.
You didn't know that is the weirdest thing. Are you kidding me?
I didn't think to look.
Well, whatever, I guess.
I didn't think to look.
It's just weird. Okay, well, that's fine. What is up, everybody? How do you think I was pulling this? How do you think I was pulling these up?
Well, I thought only you could see them.
Oh.
I didn't know the guest could also see them. I knew the host could see them.
Oh.
But then
so when you did your stream, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I can see things.
Yes. It all clicked. It all clicked when I did my first stream. I was like, oh, I get how it works.
Whoa, what's going on here? Who that is? Saying you're looking cute. What is that all about?
I think you got the wrong person.
Probably. Oh man.
You're on the wrong podcast.
You're on definitely the wrong podcast. It's a different Greg. Lots. We're streamed across everything. We're on from Italy. Bonsadtuba.
People watching on my Twitter, which is kind of weird.
It might be Greg's mom. We never know.
People watching on your Twitter, one person.
It'll go through. It'll go up. Well, we have a total of 31 people watching, even though only 17 are watching from YouTube. So they're watching from somewhere. You know.
Stop talking about my appearance, everyone. It's too much for me. It's too much for me to handle.
It's a lot.
Hey, now.
It's a lot.
Thank you for all the congratulations. I see all the congratulations in the chat. I can actually see that. 100,000. We did it. We did it. I don't know if we did it, but I did it. If you're subscribed to me, we did it. If you're not subscribed to me, then I don't know why you're watching GadgetCast.
I know exactly.
I mean, there's got to be at least one GadgetCast fan for each of us who likes GadgetCast but doesn't like our channel, right? Like, I feel like there's got to be at least one.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean, it's even more worse on today's, if you look through today's, because I'm not even really editing those out. The one on yesterday's video, just between the two videos, lots of dumpster fire.
Oh my God.
I don't think we're canceling Greg anymore.
No.
Although we kind of have to, though.
It's too late.
But here's the thing. If we don't try to cancel you, you become less relevant, which is a weird thing to say, but it's like true.
It's too late. It's too late. I gave you guys the chance. I said I would quit on August 6th if I didn't get 100,000. So do you believe I tweeted that and I got it? But
that's actually amazing because I was like, oh, well, that's just dumb.
Yeah. I was inspired by you and you're 10,000. So
it worked.
The same thing for you. 100,000 by the end of this year, you quit.
Oh, dude, that means I quit. That's for sure. That's 100% happening. 100% happening. Yeah, let's get GadgetCast to 100K. That'd be dope.
Let's get GadgetCast to 100K. I'm for that.
Yeah, I'm in for that. Okay, membership in the GadgetCast or American Dream? Open 100. Well, GadgetCast membership. As soon as we stop forgetting, Greg's dropping the ball left, right, and center on that. So let's. We
both have a group show note now, and there's a little thing about membership. We want to actually do things with it. We really just don't want to take your money, to be honest. That's why it's taking so long. I'm sure a lot of channels would just be like, "Ooh, I got membership, enable." whatever. Here's some tier stuff. We actually want to give value for the members, so that's why it's taken a while. We could just enable it and have you guys give us money, but we want to do like something cool with it.
You know what I think is going to happen is because I was talking to somebody, and I think we're just going to do a bunch of members only live streams during the week. The things that we don't necessarily want to go full podcast that won't be on the audio version of the podcast. You'll just be on membership only.
like the movie TV show stream idea we had.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. With a Star Wars podcast we never did, all that stuff. Yeah, so we're considering that as maybe the main thing.
A 15-minute weekly live stream with just Willie Do. That's it. Willie Do.
Oh my gosh. Alex said he's up for that. When is Greg making 1 million?
Never. I'm never reaching 1 million. Don't even count on it. 100,000 is good enough for me. Like Mr. Mobile, he finally reached 1 million. Well deserved.
Absolutely.
And, he said that on GadgetCast. It's all he wanted was to reach 1 million. I'm a little less ambitious, so I'm like, all I wanted to reach was 100,000. So
and you're good to go.
I'm good here.
You're an official YouTuber now.
Yes, I do feel like an official YouTuber. As weird as that sounds, I've kind of been full-time for a little bit, but when I hit 100K, I actually felt, no lie, I actually felt like a legitimate YouTuber. I'm like, I can call myself a YouTuber now. And when people go to look at my channel, they won't go, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. That's a true story. All right, let's take this brand off. Let's get into the podcast. I won't have a whole bunch of extra time to go over the hour, so we will just get right into it. Are you ready with all of your recording stuff now that you don't have to do that anymore?
Yeah.
Or do you?
I'm golden, man. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, everybody, let's get ready for GadgetCast again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, here we go for GadgetCast in 3, 2, 1, record.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0.
Hello, world, and welcome to, I think, probably one of the best intro songs of any podcast, the GadgetCast. My name is Gregory McFadden, joined always by my host, co-host, Travis MCP.
Space travel, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's having a great time here this weekend as we get another GadgetCast going. Hot fire, ladies and gentlemen. So super excited to be back. We got lots to talk about. At least I'm pretty sure we do. Should be good times.
I forgot what to call you there for a second. I was going to go, my friend, my buddy. And I was like, wait a minute, this is official business. And I was like, oh?
Wait, who's this guy?
Like, if you want like a picture into my brain, if you want to see how my brain operates, there was a good moment there. I was struggling what to call Travis. And then I went host and I went, oh yeah, he's my co-host. So we got that. Busy week in tech. Everything just happened at once this week. New Macs, Galaxy Note 20, Unpacked event, Pixel 4a. It all happened this week. Crazy week. But I do want to start off, Travis, with some, self promotion. Yeah, self-congrat. I want to pat myself on the back right here because I did it. I did the ultimate YouTube thing. I got to 100,000 plus subscribers. I got to 100,000 and then a bunch of people didn't unsubscribe. So now I'm plus 100,000. I think I'm almost at 102,000, which is kind of cool. Now it's cool. So now going to get my silver play button. I hope. They still haven't sent me the notification. It's been a couple of days, so I'm kind of getting a little bit worried. Every day that passes, I'm like, did YouTube forget about me? It would be a very Greg moment for YouTube never to send me that silver play button notification. But you know what? I think they're, they got some more serious things going on with all this hacking stuff. So maybe they're a little bit busy. That happens.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, congratulations. Definitely a difficult thing to accomplish. 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and not in a very long period of time. So definitely shout you out for that. Congratulations, my friend. And welcome to being finally a YouTuber.
Yes. I am finally a YouTuber. Before I wasn't, but now I am. So when you see me, you can go, hey, you're that YouTuber, which has happened around like 20,000 subscribers. So, once this pandemic's over, I'm expecting to go out there in the real world without my mask. And I'm expecting people to go, oh my God, it's Greg's Gadgets. I love that guy. Oh my God, let me get your autograph. So if you see me on the street, just don't say anything and walk the other way. And
That's right.
We'll all be fine. No, but seriously, I'm super honored and humbled and all that stuff because it was really cool. I did my first live stream ever on my channel. That was the first time we did it. The channel didn't crash into oblivion like that was telling me it wouldn't. So that's really good. So channel's still firing on all cylinders. We did a live stream. Maybe I'll actually do more now that I know that it's not going to destroy the channel. It was really cool to actually connect with my audience one-on-one. I always do that in GadgetCast, which is one of the reasons I love GadgetCast. I can see the audience here. We can interact with the chat. We get a lot of feedback with GadgetCast, but for my YouTube channel, and you've been doing live streams for a while, so this is good. You've known this for a while. You do the video, you read the comments, you interact with people that way, but it's a totally different thing when you're sitting there in a live stream and doing one-to-one interactions with people. And I really did like that. So I think I'm going to do some more in the future. I think anytime I get like a new product to unbox, I think it's just a live stream because unboxing videos kind of don't do it anymore. People don't really watch them anymore unless you're like super early, which we really can't be.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm going to try some more out in the future. Maybe do a GadgetCast live. We've talked about doing like a mega GadgetCast one day, trying to get people over here on the GadgetCast channel. So we got to work all that out.
That will be amazing because I suspect live. My live stream on Saturday had 261 people in there. Woo. So if we combine, we could get 500 or more people watching GadgetCast at one time. That would be a rush. That'd be amazing. So let's talk about something else that happened this week, ladies and gentlemen, which I actually ended up being a part of. Was, well, not directly anyway, the hacking of Front Page Tech. Let's talk a little bit about that, what happened. And so ironically, the day before Jern was going to come back, his YouTube channel was hacked. Now, the way in which it was hacked was interesting. He did have two-factor authentication, but they did what's called a SIM swap. And a SIM swap is essentially someone calling your phone company and changing one of your numbers to a SIM that they are in possession of. That's pretty terrible. And of course, so what that does is then they can go to log into YouTube, use an email that John had he should not have used the email he used to log into Front Page Tech. It was way too easy to guess. And then reset it, which will send a notification to the text message, which then goes to the phone of the people who hacked it. They then essentially took the channel down, put a Bitcoin scheme on there, made some money until it was taken down. Now, what's happening is, and I don't know why it takes YouTube this long, they go through some process which could take months. To me, that's scary, like literal months before they put the channel back. And we have no idea like how that'll affect it in the algorithm and such. And that's kind of a scary thing. But in the meantime, John set up FPT 404, which is on YouTube, and has grown that channel very fast. The views and subscribers he has on the two channels, the two videos he's put up, is pretty phenomenal. And I'll tell you, so it's a tough thing. It's a scary thing if your job is basically YouTube, to have it stolen from you. And that's a very scary thing. And so, Greg and I have some security things in place, and hopefully that won't happen to us. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it is. I know at the end of this, he's going to get his channel back. He's going to have all of his videos back, all that stuff. I know YouTube does all those backups. This has happened before to other channels. So it stands to reason that, eventually he will get his channel back, even though it's taking way too long, in my opinion, for this to all be sorted out. The scary thing about all of that is of course, that YouTube algorithm, which you mentioned. You really don't know how that's going to react to all of this, if they can just reset it back to what it was. And the fact that John, even before, kind of took a break and wasn't really uploading. So the YouTube algorithm, I would not want to know how that messes that up. And then on top of that, the scariest part to me is when that channel gets deleted, I go to my subscriptions and I see this deleted channel and it says, this channel is, it's no longer a thing. Do you want to unsubscribe? It's deleted. So why don't you unsubscribe? Like, it kind of prompts you just to unsubscribe to the channel because it's no more. And if you're not aware of what's going on with the situation, you'll just be like, oh, who is this channel I sub to? I don't know who this is. I guess, all right, I'm unsubscribed. It's just filling up my subscription box. So that's kind of the scariest thing to me. The fact that YouTube not only took the channel down, but then if you are subscribed to Front Page Tech, you go into your sub box and you see a thing telling you to basically unsubscribe. And that's really scary because that could do some serious damage. But I hope this issue gets resolved soon for John. Obviously, the fan base there is pretty loyal, so I think he'll be okay. Obviously, with the second channel growing as fast as it is, I mean, not every person who does YouTube, even people with more numbers than John Prosser, could pull something off like that. There's a lot of people who have tons of subscribers. They could lose their channel and form a second channel, and they just don't have the awareness to actually get people to subscribe to that second channel. So I'm hoping it comes back quick. Obviously, John's a really good friend of the show. I'm seeing some people in chat saying, "Is John going to come on the show?" You know what? I would have loved to have him on. I really didn't feel right asking him to come on and explain everything because honestly, if this was me, I'd be freaking out, and I feel like my hands would be full. Maybe one day when he gets this all sorted out, when things are just going back, we'll have him on. We'll get the full story. We'll do the full interview, find out the whole process with YouTube. But for now, I think it's a little too soon to ask him onto the show because that is a lot to deal with, guys.
Well, by the way, I was the one that told him his channel was hacked, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yes, he does owe you one now.
Yeah, well, he mentioned it
one day.
He mentioned it in the video, the first video back on FPT 404. But essentially, I came out of the shower and saw that I had a notification that FPT went live, which has been a long time since he's been live, and I knew that just seemed weird. So I clicked it. And I'm watching this thing and I'm like, is this a troll? Is this a John troll or something? And then pretty quickly I was like, no, this is that Bitcoin scam. So I texted him and it was really funny because I was like, dude, you're live. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, are you hacked? You're live right now. And he's like, son of a, and it was just from there, just terribleness. It's just a very scary situation. Now, by the way, while yes, influencers and stuff are definitely going to be targeted. Any person can be targeted. Now, the really weird thing about the scary thing about this is if you have two-factor authentication on like your Facebook, your Twitter, your bank account, and that sort of thing that uses a SMS, in other words, a text message to get your second authentication. If someone figures out your email address, can do the SIM swap on you, they have access to all of that stuff. So they could literally log into your bank account, drain you. They go to your Facebook, delete your Facebook. So they could do a lot of these things. There are ways around this and ways of kind of fixing this by using apps like the Authenticator app for Google. There's the Titan key that Greg and I use. There's a lot of different ways around this. You should definitely do some research because this, while it does mainly affect people who are in the public eye, the reality is it can literally happen to anybody. And the really scary thing is someone who doesn't have a whole bunch of followers is going to be a lot more difficult to get your stuff situated than it will someone that that just is a normal everyday person.
Yeah, if you're low on the subscriber numbers, I mean, it's probably not even a blip on their radar. And you look at all the success that John has and all the influence he has, and look how slow they're taken with him. This is someone who has tremendous influence. So the fact that it's a slow process with him is a very scary thought for people who are under. Even at my level, they just reach 100,000. If this happened to me, I'm sure it would take a long time to reach anyone over at YouTube to get this sorted out. But, hoping the best, hoping everything goes smooth once John gets this all sorted out. But yes, take your security very seriously. Don't use the same password on sites. Try and get a password manager. Make sure that you're, if you can use an authentication app instead of SMS. The fact is that we're just going to see more and more and more of this because it's just going to keep happening. So hopefully there's some technology in the works to make us more secure eventually. I don't know, but it's scary. It's scary. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Of course, getting a password manager helps a little bit, but they're bypassing the password. They are. Yeah. The funny thing is two-factor supposed to make you more safe, but in some ways, if you don't have one of the best ways to protect yourself is to call your smartphone provider and set up a password for that that's not used anywhere else so that they can't change it without knowing that password. Because for the most part, they don't even know the password of the accounts. They're simply leveraging the fact that you have two-factor, hitting that you forget, and then getting a text message sent to their new SIM. So it's very, very scary. And really, it comes down to the fault of the cell phone provider. It's not really even YouTube or anything. They're getting around a lot of aspects of that. So that's our safety update.
Yeah,
Or the
we
tag,
need like
yeah.
we need like a 3-password system where you got to enter in one password, then you got to enter a second one, and then a third one.
And then blood in your fingers, and then
Face
Yeah,
ID, Touch ID, do it all. I would enable that if I had the option to enable that for my YouTube account. I'd have like 20 passwords, security,
Yeah.
plus you got to
So
scan your face.
I like Rashid talks about don't use Chrome as a password manager because your Google account is compromised. Your passwords are well, but here's the thing: people say to use a password manager, but it's the same thing. If your LastPass gets compromised, it's the same thing. So the thing I
actually think that for people like us, I think that the password manager kind of thing, maybe it's not even good enough, like you're saying, right? Because people just bypass it through 2-factor. I feel like a lot of normal people, though, like people who don't have a big online presence, that's where they really need to make sure they're using a password manager, because their information, I think, is less likely to be a targeted attack like it was on John Prosser. People obviously wanted his audience so they could stream to them. For other people, they're probably getting hit from like a security breach on a website, and then use the same password at McDonald's, and now all of a sudden getting into your banking app because you use the same password there.
Right. So the idea is if you store all of your passwords anywhere, regardless if it's LastPass, if it's Chrome, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a possibility of everything being it's just a bad thing. Really, what everyone should do is have a completely different, complicated password for every single website, which of course most people don't do. So having said all that, there's no perfect way to protect yourself. There's some really strong ways you can make it more difficult to get into your stuff so that people will move on to something that's easier. But definitely something to think about is it won't just affect creators. It definitely affects absolutely your normal, every average day person a lot of times every single day all around the world.
Yeah, and you don't hear about the normal people. Like,
exactly.
Them, and they got to deal with it privately. So
look
at how much it happens to prominent people, and then just think on a smaller scale for those people, but hitting even more targets at once.
100%.
Right.
Well, there was a lot of things that came out this week. Of course, you talked about the Mac. We got the Note 20 and the Pixel 4a to all talk about. So let's get into that. Why don't you go ahead and start with Macs? Yeah, because I don't know anything about them. Yeah, because I don't know nothing about that. You go ahead.
All right. I thought we were going to start with Unpacked. Well, you know what? This honestly is going to take 2 seconds. There's a new Mac that came out. A lot of speculation on this show on whether that would be a redesign. It wasn't a redesign. It was the same exact iMac design we've had since 2012. It has some new 10th generation Intel processors. It can go up to 10 cores. And it has some other things that they added into it to improve it a little bit, like T2 security chip. They got rid of the hard disk drives like we've been saying they should be doing, solid state drives across the lineup, and all that stuff. They basically made the last Mac a little bit better, the last iMac a little bit better. And but this isn't the big redesign a lot of people were waiting for, with Apple obviously switching over to Apple Silicon. And obviously people want a different iMac because, again, we've been staring at the same one since 2012. So it's not the biggest update in the world. It is one of the updates that they had to go through because at that presentation, they said we have more Intel Macs on the way. This is an Intel Mac. This could be the last Intel Mac they ever released, to be honest with you. But it's here. If you need a new Mac now, maybe get it, but maybe wait too, because you probably should wait. But yeah, that's the Mac, Travis. Any interest in this?
I mean, I'm sure for some people out there it is of interest. We'll probably have to swing Luke Miami or Renee Richie Rich over or something at some point to kind of go over that stuff. But yeah, I think you covered it pretty in depth in your videos. So I think that they should just go ahead and go to Greg's Gadgets on YouTube and definitely watch those videos.
Little plug for me there. Thank you, Travis.
Okay, so what's next? Oh, okay. Well, let's do a Pixel was first, right? So Pixel happened before the Google event or before the Samsung event, right?
August
4A?
3rd. Yes. So we're going in chronological order. All right.
Might
All
as
right. So Pixel 4a was also released. A lot of, again, talk about the Pixel 4a on this show in particular. This is a phone that we were expecting months earlier, and it kept getting pushed back for whatever reason. I don't know if I guess that's a lot due to everything with COVID, but is here. I actually got one. I just put up my review video today over on my channel. Again, another plug for my channel if you wanted to go over and check it out. Now, basically, this phone, I think, represents, and Travis has done a lot of good reviews on some phones like the TCL phones that just represent tremendous value this year. Obviously, we had the iPhone SE come out, And that was also, you know, kind of a nice phone from Apple coming in at a $400 price point. This thing kind of surprised me. Number one, I was not expecting this to be $350. I know there was rumors saying it was going to be $350, but it came in at $350 with 128 gigabytes as the base storage. I thought that was really strong and competitive. The interesting thing here is that it also only comes in one model. It comes in black. That's it. There's no other screen sizes. It just has a 5.8-inch screen size, which I think is a pretty good middle ground if you're going to do one screen size. I feel like it's big enough for most people. Kind of like the iPhone SE, right? That had one screen size, and that's only a 4.7-inch phone. So this is a bigger phone. For the video viewers, they can see this. It has a full screen design, so you know, goes all the way up to the top. Which, by the way, not even the Pixel 4, their flagship phone, which I think they discontinued now, not even that had it. So I think the design on this is better. Now, the body is made out of plastic, right? There's some cost-cutting measures there. But other than that, and the processor, you know, isn't like a flagship processor. But I gotta say, for $350, this is something that's really hard to beat. You get, obviously, that Pixel camera, which a lot of people really love. You get pretty well optimized software experience with whatever I know people call it stock Android. It's really not stock Android. It's Google's version of stock Android at this point. But it is really well optimized software to make it a smooth experience. And I just feel like this phone offers a tremendous amount of value at $350 to anyone who's at, and I know like Google promises like 3 years of software updates too, right? So anyone who's looking for an inexpensive Android phone, this thing it's like so simple. I just got to go get the Pixel 4a. Which model do I get? There's only one model. Oh, how much storage do I get? There's only one storage option, 128. It's going to be fine. So I really feel like this is a good phone. And one of the things we've talked about on the show a lot, Travis, is Google doesn't really buy, like, people don't buy Pixel phones. And I don't know if this is going to shift that narrative, but I did notice, like, on Amazon and stuff, they're already sold out of the Pixel 4a. Now, that doesn't really say much because I'm sure their supply chain is kind of, you know, not as good as it might have been. So maybe they didn't even get to manufacture too many of these in the first place. But I'm kind of hoping it does sell well, because I think this is a better direction for Google to go in rather than competing at the flagship level.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that I'm super excited about. Is that they're coming at a much better price. I actually would have liked to have seen it at $299.
Ooh.
Having said that, $350 is fine. I mean, $299 would be amazing. $350 is fine. But let's be clear about a couple of things. So I put a video out and some people got really triggered by it, which I thought was kind of funny, because what's interesting is the fans of Pixel, like, you don't really see them very often in the comment section of videos, but they're out there and they're almost on the level of like Samsung Knights in a weird way. So my video was very simply called, like, it's not going, I don't even remember what I called it. Something like it's not going to sell, or it doesn't matter. Something anyway. And it's not. But that doesn't mean it's not a good phone. So here's the thing. It's funny, after I put that video out, I started getting people in comments going, see, it's selling well. It's sold out on Best Buy and Amazon. All right, here's the thing. The Pixel 3 and Pixel 3a were always the #1 selling unlocked phone on Amazon and Best Buy. Like, it almost never wasn't. That means nothing. They sold in all of 2019 7 million phones across the entire Pixel line. 7 million. If you know how many phones are shipped in a quarter by any of the top 5 manufacturers in phones, you would know that that's pathetic. So it's not going to sell. It does not mean it's not a good phone. And people can't unconnect those two my video is it's not going to sell. Their thought is it must not be any good because I'm saying it's not going to sell. No, it's two different things. It's not going to sell. It'll sell in these small, like, little patches. People are going to love it. It's a fine phone. Literally nothing wrong with the phone. Not saying there's anything wrong with the phone, but people get in their feelings about this. And I just want to make sure people understand that this is not going to take Google to the next level. It is a good phone. It's going to be sold in less places than the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3a. It's only going to be in Verizon. That's a big deal. Like, all of these things add up to it's not going to make a difference. Now, Should they stop doing phones? Ironically, I've been saying for over a year they need to be focused on the mid and low range. So I think they're doing the right thing, especially if the Pixel 5 is kind of more of a mid-ranged phone. I think that's the right move. But this is not the phone that's going to make them top 3. It's 100% not going to. Now, having said that, again, fine phone. I love the fact you get at least 3 years of updates. But now Samsung is saying that. So, you know, like it's to me, Google needs to be ahead of everyone else. They need to just say 5 and be done with it, because Samsung's not going to probably do that. LG's not going to. No, those other companies do it. Be the Apple of Android is what Google needs to be if they really want to start moving the needle. So it's a great phone for the vast majority of people out there who are going to need a phone, and it's going to do well. It will not be top 10. And that's all there is to it. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But then again, neither will the Note 20 or Note 20 Ultra, which I know will trigger a completely different, again, not a bad phone, will not be a top 10 phone, will not be a top 10 selling phone. It just won't. It never is. None of the Notes have ever been, even though I've loved most of the Notes. None of them have been top 10 phones. So settle down. Settle down.
I agree with you 100%. I said I hope that the 4A sells well because I think it is a good phone, but history has proven that every Pixel that Google has ever made has never been a top selling phone. Even for how much press that the Pixel gets, it is crazy how low volume they actually sell. And that's only because it's a Google phone made by a major corporation. So it gets all this press. So I think people think it's a bigger deal than it is. But when you look at the top selling smartphones, you're right. It's never going to break into the top 10, let alone have a chance of being in the top 5 or anything like that. But again, it is a good phone.
Yes.
It probably deserves to sell more than it will.
I agree.
But it is also, you're right, not that unique in a way, because there are a lot of budget-friendly phones coming out. I said this in my video. I said, the Pixel 3a was great. I think the 4a is even better than the 3a. I think it's a better value than the 3a was, and I think overall it's a better phone. However, there's more competition than ever at this price range this year. And I said even Apple is at this price range now. And even though I think that the iPhone SE obviously looks a lot more dated than this design, I think if you go into a store and look at one and look at the other, you go, hey, this iPhone SE looks a little bit old compared to this 4A. But then you go into like the insides and you go into like, the actual using of it, and then it's more modern in that way. So and some people are just honestly going to get the SE because it says iPhone on it. It doesn't matter whatever Google does, however they market it. If they made it $200 cheaper, people will just still go, well, give me the cheapest iPhone. That's what I want.
Yep.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things as people who cover tech. You're covering the business side of things and you're covering the product side of things. Product side of the Pixel 4a, great phone. It's what Google should be doing. They delivered a tremendous package here. 128 gigabytes, 350 OLED display, really great camera. It checks all the boxes you would want in a budget phone lineup. But then you got to get to the business side of it, and Travis he's 100% right. This thing probably is not going to sell well. If it does sell well, I'll come on and admit that I'm wrong, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yep. I think it does deserve to sell well, but hey, that's just reality. That's just the reality of the situation. If they're only carrying it in Verizon, a lot of people just go into the carrier stores and pick out a phone there. So that's already spelling bad news for this phone. And I think Travis is right. Google needs to do something unique in this space to become more Apple-like, maybe promise, like you said, 5 years of software updates, or just do something else to make it a more unique Android phone and have features in it, even at the budget line, besides camera, that no other Android phone can do.
Yeah. Let's get into the Note stuff, because I see people in the chat talking about my Note video. Which
let's go from one plastic phone to the phone.
So I'm glad you said that, because Sean and 504 are talking about some comments in my comment section. First of all, shout out to my dudes coming through the comment section, seeing the trash that I deal with when I do these Samsung videos. Now, here's the thing. These last two Samsung videos, if you're a Samsung Knight, seem critical. My next two are actually going to seem positive, but they're all just facts. I mean, so I don't know I don't know what to say to people. Sometimes people just get their feelings hurt by silly stuff. But the next two are actually going to be more kind of positive. But let's talk real quick about the hardware itself. The Galaxy Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. again, going to be the best Samsung phones they put out, more or less. Ironically, in my last video, I had to point out some of the spec differences between the S20 and the S20 Note 20 line, which was weird because generally speaking, every year the Note just gets superior specs across the line. That's not the case this year. It's a weird year. I also speculated that maybe some of this was, and it's probably not true, was due to the fact that Galaxy Note Galaxy S20 line of phones did not sell well. Now we know that A, of course, pandemic did not help that, and B, probably more importantly, they bet the wrong direction this year. For some strange reason, this year they put all their money on green and said that everything should be $1,000 or more this year in the S line, which between the S and the Note line was the wrong move, as we've now seen, especially since how well everyone was receiving the S10e the year before. Like, everyone seemed to really like that phone. It was weird that they did not go with at least one option in the S series to kind of help people who don't want to spend that much money. Next year, I hope to see a much more aggressive Samsung in the lower priced market, because they're going to, I mean, this is going to be a wipeout for their profits this year. And I also believe that one of the reasons you're seeing specific colors not being available and specific finishes not being available across the entire Note line is because they know they're not going to sell that many. So that you don't want to go ahead and buy a whole bunch of different backs and colors and stuff and have that stuff sitting in a warehouse when you can't move them. These things are, the cheapest one is $1,000, and you definitely should not buy the regular Note 20. If you're going to buy a Note, you should probably get the Note 20 Ultra, and that's like $1,300 plus tax. So at some point, you've got to go, okay, listen, we're going to hedge our bets. We're not going to make as many colors and stuff because we know we're going to get stuck with them. So let's just settle down. The S20 line series of phones did not sell well. The chances of the Note outselling the S is very slim. Let's be a little bit more kind of pragmatic about it, and let's see what happens. So the product itself, the hardware itself, it's fine. Like, I'm not hating on it at all, even with the lower specs from the S20 series. The reality is, the world in which we live right now is not interested in a high-priced Samsung phone. It's just not. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens when Apple does the same with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, like the really expensive. We'll see how those sell, because everything else has been selling fine, like the 11 and the SE has been selling well. Those things sell well. It'll be really interesting to see if Apple is hurt by this. But I made a video about this just this past week. Somehow, Apple has made so much money this past year, even against all odds. They made more money. Greg, how'd they do this? They made a whole bunch of money. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. That shocked me, even, because I think we were talking about for a while, like, it's going to be lower sales. Like, people aren't buying these expensive products. And then it's like, well, I guess people are home and they have nothing better to do. So they're like, let me buy an expensive product to keep me entertained. I guess that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Sometimes I think, sometimes I think very logically and go, well, I wouldn't be buying that product. But there's a lot of people out there who are like, I'm bored. I need something to keep me entertained. And I kind of get that too. I get that way sometimes. So, yeah. Man, I mean, we've talked about the Note leaks before. I mean, everything basically leaked. Like, you're not really learning anything new here if you did. I mean, unless you're coming to GadgetCast for the first time, then you're probably like, ooh, what's about this Note 20? We knew everything. The $1,000 for the plastic phone, I feel like that's like a huge controversy. I get it does feel like a lot of money for a plastic phone. I feel like you go with plastic to save money. Is it a huge deal? I really don't know.
I think if you're paying $1,000 and not at least getting like 90 hertz, then at this point in 2020, it's ridiculous.
Too. It's not even just the plastic. You're paying $1,000 for a phone that is just not competitive. You go over to OnePlus and you see what they're doing at a lesser price point, and you got like the full 120 hertz. It kind of boggles the mind why you would go with the Note series, unless I guess you really like the stylus. But I feel like there's even other companies now that offer that, and it's not $1,000 for a plastic phone. Now, I just can't get excited over this Note at all. I've never been a Note guy, to be honest with you. Unlike Travis. Travis was the Note guy. I never really was interested in it. I never wanted to use a stylus with my phone. And this year, like last year, I was kind of feeling it. Like, I felt like the hype was dying down from people I know. I feel like the Note 9 was like the last great Note where I knew a lot of people who were really into that phone. And ever since then, it seems to be going on this downward trajectory, because I think the regular the regular S lineup is basically a Note without a stylus. And what people really used to like about the Note was that it was like this ultimate phone. I know it had the stylus too, but I really think it was more than that. It was kind of like this ultimate phone. Yep. They would charge whatever for it because they gave you the best that was available. But now they're kind of doing that with all of their phones except the plastic phone. So it just kind of sucks all the air out of the room. And then you have better, more interesting phones, I guess, now that are at even higher prices and chasing this premium market, especially now. And it's no fault of Samsung because they obviously could not have guessed that we'd be in a pandemic and all this stuff going on. But man, when they were advertising all their phones in that event for the new normal, I was just sitting back and I'm like, you're about to like announce like a $1,300 phone and you're saying this is the new normal? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's nothing new normal about $1,300. But I'll tell you something, there's not going to be $1,300. And as a sneak peek, this is one of the videos I'm going to do this week. And depending on when you're listening to GadgetCast, you might actually have seen this video come across your subscription feed. I haven't shot it yet, but I will. The phone that is bringing me back to Android, the phone that's going to do it, and I'm going to spend too much money on it. That Z Fold 2, baby. That thing is mine. I don't care if it's too much money. It's going to be, I'm going to tell people I want it and you should not buy it because any person who's smart with their money should not buy this phone. It is amazing looking. It's going to be so much fun to have. It's the right way to come back to Android for me. I think because it'll be exciting. It won't just be, oh, another glass slab, cool, whatever. But that is the phone that will bring me back to Android. It will be hopefully my main phone, depending on how long it's going to be. I know it's going to be stupid expensive. It's interesting that they did not disclose the price. I think they did that for a couple of reasons, but I'm unsure exactly why. Maybe they don't even really know yet. It could be that they're bouncing the idea between prices this late in the game.
I think they don't know. I think they have I think they have like two prices in their head and they're kind of waiting to see like maybe what the yields are before they go over with the pricing. Depending on how hard this is to manufacture too, it might not yield as many like perfect products as they want. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're holding the price back so they can kind of be more flexible on it. I imagine it's going to be $2,000. I imagine they're going to go for $2,000. I was hearing rumors before that got my hopes up that maybe it'd be like $1,700. But after seeing the presentation, after seeing how nice the phone looks, I feel like it has to be at least $2,000, maybe more, maybe like $2,200, $2,400. It starts getting that high. And then it kind of starts waning off for me about the excitement. Like $2,000, I'm really excited for it. But if it starts going to like $2,400, I'm starting to think like, all right, hold on a second here. Do I need this phone? Well,
you won't because you're already spending $3,000 on a camera and some other shenanigans you got over there, and that Mac you just got. I haven't made any big purchases, so it's my turn. It's my turn.
I'll be getting it regardless too, because I'm with you. I think the phone looks really exciting. They learned a lot of mistakes with their first Fold and the Z Flip. So and they kind of went over in the presentation all the steps they took to make sure it was more reliable. They kind of went over like we looked at a vacuum cleaner, and on the 104th time we finally got it right, and we found out how to get all the dust out of the hinges. And man, the design of this just looks right. The first one looked like a prototype, and it was still exciting looking like a prototype. It still looked really good. This one looks like a finished product. When you open it up, I think the screen's even bigger now. What's the exact measurements? Is it almost, what is it, like 7?
One of the things that makes it bigger is the fact there's a punch hole rather than that big notch in the top corner. Yeah. This is going to be, is there such thing
about the front screen? Because the front screen,
that's one of the reasons I want it, because it's much bigger.
Completely pathetic and tiny on the first one. And I think anyone who looked at that first one went, the second generation has to be a full screen on the front. Right. Why do you go with this weird little tiny pathetic screen on the front? And I love in the presentation, they're like, our customers, when they used the first Fold, said that they wanted a bigger screen on the front because they found the front screen useful too. And I'm like, duh. So, but yeah, 7.6 inch on the inside as opposed to 7.3 on the first one. like you said, they're getting rid of that giant notch in the corner. And 7, you're going by like 0.3 inches in screen size. It kind of doesn't sound like a big deal. That's big. That's like a huge improvement in screen size. So it's going to be potentially a production powerhouse. This is the new note, I feel like. And you've been saying that for a while. Oh, my favorite part of that Unpacked presentation is when they did that little interview and they were kind of going over all their products. And then all of a sudden he asked one of the guys, so a lot of people have asked, why is there no stylus on the Fold? And I thought they're about to announce stylus support for the Fold. And I'm like, ooh, they got it working. And he goes, well, maybe that's something we'll explore in the future. You're gonna acknowledge they don't have the stylus ready and just like kind of tease us? I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Unless they have something we just don't know about, but which I don't think is going to be the case. That would be awesome. Of course, I've been calling for that for well over a year, that the Fold series should eventually become the Note series. First called out for that like late last year. Super excited to see where it goes. I am excited to get this phone. It will be the one that brings me back to the Android side of things. But, we'll see like how practical it is and how much I actually end up liking it. But listen, I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money on this thing, which is kind of silly. It's not something that I would ever tell anyone else to do. But I think I'm going to do it.
This feels to me like, and I don't like to draw, I don't use this comparison lightly. We'll see how I don't know if it'll sell that well in numbers, to be honest with you, just because it is such an expensive device. But in terms of technology and in terms of game-changing technology, this phone to me feels like similar to maybe like the first BlackBerry and first iPhone in terms of like hype levels of like, I have to have it. I'll pay the absorbent amount of price for it. I just have to get my hands on it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
That doesn't happen often.
And I will, I'm excited to do the video for it. And I still may do a Fold 1 video for the Amazon Renewed series. Regardless, I think it's finally something that from Samsung that I'm actually looking forward to, even if it is expensive. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens.
Yes, we will. Also, real quick, I just want to mention, I don't know if you want to even cover this.
No, go ahead.
They released those Galaxy Buds Live, the Bean. Oh, sorry. They released the Beans, so they have those out. And I don't know. I saw some reviews that were a little disappointing to me. I was kind of interested in these because I've been getting more into audio lately. And I was like, ooh, this might actually be like a really good one. I've heard other good things about the other Samsung Galaxy Buds in terms of sound quality. And these were going to have like noise cancellation. Some initial reviews that I saw said like the noise cancellation actually doesn't work all too well, which is something I really like about AirPods Pro is the noise cancellation in them. So I think that kind of deflated me on the Beans. I know our good buddy Jeff, El Jefe Reviews, has his video out. So I think people should go watch that if they're interested in the Galaxy Buds Live.
Yes, the Samsung mouse kidney beans.
Yes, the kidney beans.
The kidneys. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think that it is a little bit of a... So it's for people, the way I watched Flossie Carter's review, he said basically it's like not the equivalent, but you know how the AirPods don't go into your ear, they just kind of hang there?
Yeah.
If you like that style more than something that's plugging up your ear, you'll like the Samsung Live ones rather than say the Buds.
Yeah, I feel like most people don't like that. So
I know I don't, but some people don't like things in their ear. So there you go. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just telling you what I was told. Just telling you. I do want to real quickly just talk over the fact that there's like less than 40 days that allegedly TikTok will be banned if they're not bought by some American company. So I just want to, we've talked about this last couple of weeks. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but there's actually like a ticking time bomb of ban coming. So Microsoft, or now they're saying Twitter and Apple, they're saying everyone is interested.
Twitter.
No, I just read that today.
Twitter. Hey, Twitter killed Vine. They're going to kill TikTok. It's poetic. It's poetic. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get rid of TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not on it, but
man, this whole TikTok saga is too draining for me. I can't even follow up with it anymore of what's going on. I saw that TikTok was going to file some legal lawsuit, which is obviously in their right. I guess they should fight this legally because this is kind of unprecedented the way this is going about with a sitting president trying to ban it. Not even through an act of I don't know. It's really weird how this is going on. So I guess they do have some legal grounds. We'll see what the ultimate decision is there. Obviously, they can delay that 40-day ban if they're going to fight that in court, I believe, if they get a certain order passed. But I find it interesting how there are talks with a lot of U.S. companies to just sell TikTok to a U.S. entity. And the parent company for that, ByteDance, might just want to take that route anyway. I don't even know what the monetization strategy for an app like TikTok is. I don't know if it could ever, like, one of the reasons that Vine failed was because they never knew how to make money on it. Like, it was a great app. A lot of people used it. Like, it was super popular. The reason why Vine died wasn't because it wasn't popular. It was because they couldn't figure out how to monetize it. And I don't know if TikTok can find out how to monetize. I don't really use TikTok that much. When I did try it out for a little bit, I didn't notice any ads. And I think if you were scrolling through content and you got an ad, because TikTok's, like, you absorb content in like 10-second bites almost. It's really quick. I feel like if there was an ad there, it would break the entire experience. I don't know. Like YouTube, you go, you click on a video, it loads. There's an ad in the beginning. You watch 15 seconds, whatever, you click skip. With TikTok, you're watching a video, you scroll, the next video is like instant. Putting an ad there and breaking up that experience, I just don't know. I just don't know how you pivot that successfully as a platform and still get people to kind of use it. So, and they're going to have to show a lot of those ads to make money because hosting video is expensive. It's very expensive. Yep. So I don't know if there's a legitimate monetization strategy there in the future. And that might be reason enough to just sell it at whatever inflated price it is right now and just make your money, become rich, and just be done with it.
Yep. We got a super chat here from Rocco. It says, what are your thoughts about Samsung's new watch and comparing it to the Apple Watch? Well, obviously, there were some swings at Apple because they added some things that were on the Apple Watch, like, the EKG or whatever. And of course, you have to touch it, which is interesting. I don't know if that's going to give them a more accurate reading. You actually have to touch the crown. I mean, it's good. Listen, I think they're two completely different watches because the Apple Watch looks like a tech watch and the Samsung watches tend to look like real watches. And depending on what your style is, and of course, what type of phone you have, you'll pick one over the other. I think now they've closed the gap with some of the things that they've added. Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure it'll be a great addition for someone who has, especially if you have a Samsung phone. And I think maybe the little things that made the Apple Watch better, there's less of them now. I don't know that they're completely gone, but there certainly are less of them than there were before this new Apple Watch. Sorry, Samsung Watch.
Yeah, Rocco, I wish I could answer your question a little bit better because you super chatted, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't know enough about the new watches. I guess they looked okay. Obviously, they have a lot of features that the Apple Watch had, like the EKG stuff. But again, if you have a Samsung phone, you get a Samsung watch because the Apple Watch, like, they don't even compete against each other. So it's kind of pointless to go, oh, which one's better? Because, well, you can't use an Apple Watch with Samsung. I actually think you can use a Samsung watch with Apple, but you shouldn't. You should just go get an Apple Watch because it's way better integrated. So that's my thoughts on it. I should maybe when I get the Fold, I should also try out a Galaxy Watch. It's been a while since I've tried an Android Wear product. I know Android Wear kind of isn't doing anything, but Samsung is a little bit more committed to their watches. So I should try that out as an Apple Watch guy. Maybe I will with the Fold. I think I'll try it. And nice, what a great companion for the Fold, right? Like a little watch.
100%. 100%. All right. Do we have anything else we want to cover for this episode of GadgetCast? Trying to think. Is there anything else? What's in the notes?
I think we covered it. I think we said it all. Did
we say it all?
Yeah, I think we said it all. So, I'll just defer to Willie Do. Willie Do, is there anything else left for us to cover?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, Willie Do said no.
Well, I do want to mention one thing for the audio podcast listeners as well as the people who watch this live stream later. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/GadgetCast. And of course, if you're listening audio, we're going to have the memberships available here real soon. And when we do, what we're going to do is do live streams that will not be in the audio podcast. So if you sign up for a membership once we get that going, and you want additional content from us, that's probably going to be non-tech related stuff. I think it's going to be because Greg and I have talked about doing a couple live streams that we wanted to do, but we just didn't want to do them on the channel.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
like Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna plan content that goes a little bit out of tech, and then if you guys are members, you can obviously come in and participate with us. We will probably have some other interesting stuff to go along with that, but I think that's the kind of thing we want to go with. Some other type of content that isn't tech related, and we can go into all of that stuff. I do want to point out too, because I see Boom in the Sky in the chat mention this, and we didn't mention it on the show. We should have. Fishbee follows both of us on Twitter now, and Fishbee. It took me to get to 100,000 subscribers for Fishbee to acknowledge me and subscribe to my channel. So that is a huge accomplishment. So not only am I followed by Werther's Original now, I am now followed by the man himself, Fishbee.
Fishbee. I know you have to go back a couple of episodes to even know what we're talking about there, but definitely do that if you have not already done that. So Greg, is that everything? I don't have the song, so I guess you're gonna have to kick it here.
Man, we got to get you that song.
We do. We got to get me the outro song, or I got to do one of my own songs. I got lots of music. Check me out on SoundCloud. Check out Travis MCP on SoundCloud. I got my music up there. Let's kick this off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Space Travel. We appreciate everyone for joining us this week. As always,
I hit the wrong button.
It's 100,000 Greg dropping the ball again. I'm Travis. We'll see you next week. Peace and love.
2, 1, 0, 0. Nice to be in orbit.
Space travel.
Boom in the Sky is Soundcore Adam. Hey Adam, how you doing? Actually,
Adam.
I just mentioned the Liberty Air 2s in my Pixel 4a review. I said it has a headphone jack. I really don't like using the headphone jack anymore, as I did use the headphone jack for like a day and it pulled the headphones out of my ears as it got caught on something. And I said, get the Liberty Air 2s. They're $100 and really great value to go along with your Pixel 4a. Really,
and if you are fans of Gadgetcast, you should definitely already be getting your Gadgetcast official headphones, the Soundcore Q10s. You can't really see the logo. Of course, you're not going to get the logo, but you can get everything else. Just get it on Amazon or whatever. We used to have the link, and we used to have a code, but the code needs to be redone or something. So anyway, go do that. So what are we going to do for Aftercast? We got a couple minutes here. I have some stuff I need to do.
Told, I don't know if he's here. I told Top Tech Geek to join us for a little bit on the Aftercast.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if he's here. I'm going to DM him. Top Tech Geek, you're here. Check your DM on Twitter.
He was here earlier.
Okay. So we're going to see if we can get him in here. Up and coming young man on these YouTube streets. Doing a great job. Travis, when he entered your contest, he was under 100 subscribers. He has like 400 now. This
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. No, he's great. He actually was close to being, I think I actually had voted for him to be in the finals. He did a good job. Will the iPhone 12 Pro model coordinates be the same as the 11? It looks like fidget spinners. I believe that so far we think that they will, right? Aren't they supposed to be that way? Yes, I did, Adam. I even played them up to great. Thank you.
Oh, you got the Flare 2s?
Yeah, I'm
good, right?
Yeah, they're good. I'm gonna do some stuff with them in future videos. I like them.
There you go.
Yeah, so I believe the fidget spinner look is gonna happen again, unless they have 4, which I can't imagine they would do that. Can't imagine they would do that. How's everyone doing in the chat?
Wow, Travis.
Greg looks stumped. That's true. He did look stumped.
I always look stumped. Ace, the quality on the 3.5 millimeter. Hey, I'm not an audiophile. They all sound the same to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like people are like, this is like the better DAC, and I'm like, sounds like a headphone. So
I know, right?
Probably shouldn't ask me.
Yeah, don't ask Greg any questions. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, how you doing, Top Tech Geek? Good to see you, buddy.
Doing good. How do you do?
Doing real good.
Doing great.
All right. So what are we doing here, Greg?
I don't know. I just thought we'd get him on. This guy's like the legend over on. He did ask to be on, but now I feel like he doesn't even want anything to do with us because Travis is doing all the Zoom and stuff. I'm getting. You have to deal with top. I feel like he doesn't even want to talk to us anymore because now all of a sudden, Marquez is liking him and subscribing to him. He was on Viper's stream, so I feel like he's over us at this point.
No, not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
No, man. I was looking at all the people who are like tweeting at you today, and I'm like, these people don't even know who I am, and they're, all of a sudden they're following Top Tech Geek. I'm sitting here, I'm getting jealous. I'm like, oh man, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, but it's cool. You helped me a lot with my channel as well, so it's cool. It's cool. You both did.
Yeah, you got to thank Travis. I only discovered you through the contest, so
yeah,
you got to be thanking Travis.
Well, that was the whole point, is to find some new people to get them some time, and I'm just glad enough people saw your content to say, hey, this kid's got something going on. But I will say, like I've said before, he's the only person I've seen out of everyone who was in the contest that is continuing to grind and really trying to work hard to, like, reaching out to people on Twitter and do it. Like, he's the one person that's doing that consistently after the contest. So, and that, as you can see, has paid off. To no real surprise, if you really know how to get this thing going on YouTube, you gotta like network and try to get your name out there now. I mean, who would have thought just in like 1 week, not only do you get a whole bunch more subscribers, but you got like Mkbhd, on subscribe to you, and like all these great followers on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wasn't expecting all that. Yesterday was a crazy day.
How does that feel? How does that feel though? To like, I feel like you're like blowing up quick. Like how are you?
So it's like a mixture. So it's amazing, it's awesome. And then at the same time, it's like it's really crazy. Like.
Yeah.
Like it's like one day I'm just making videos, just because I like it, and now people are actually noticing me a bit more. Marquez, because it's crazy because he was my inspiration starting the channel. So him noticing me was pretty awesome. It was really cool. Yesterday was just a crazy day for everything. Really, a lot happened yesterday.
Yeah,
even some stuff that wasn't on Twitter. So it was crazy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
what's next?
So when is the Mkbhd collab? When is that? When is it going down?
I've been trying to get one set up. I'm trying to get my kids to DM me, man.
Do we have to start the Gadget Cast campaign to get Marquez to DM you? I think
the problem is, Greg, Mkbhd has already said he doesn't know who you are, so I don't know that you have any pull in this situation. Although now you have 100,000 subscribers. You did not when he didn't know you earlier, so maybe he knows you now.
Top Tech Geek, have you ever seen that clip of when Marquez completely dismantled me and said he didn't know who I was?
No, I've never seen it, and
we got to get to that clip. I'm gonna keep that later at you, just so you can see how big of a milestone that you have that I don't have. Hefe's putting the link. People are asking what your channel was. He has the link in the chat, so
thank you.
Check out Top Tech Geek. Go ahead, go over, subscribe to him.
Yeah, it's crazy though. The campaign, the Gadget Cast campaign, would work because the only way Marquez noticed me was because like 50 people kept adding him, saying this is the next Mkbhd, young Mkbhd, and it was at a point where he was like, I can't just sit here and ignore this anymore. And then Viper, he did it once, and that's when everything kind of just blew up.
See, your best in for Mkbhd is through Viper, though, because Viper got the connection. Viper's had Mkbhd on his show more times than I can count. So I think we got to go through Viper. Viper, if you're watching this, we're gonna start a campaign. I'm gonna come on the next Friday night, Viper, and I'm gonna use all of my power. And we're gonna get this DM going. We're gonna get this collaboration going for Top Tech Geek. Did you have any thoughts on any of the stuff that we talked about in the show? Anything that you wanted to express your opinion on?
Really, so two things. The Pixel 4a, that's so I've never had a Pixel before, so I think, but from the reviews I've been seeing, I think it's a pretty decent phone. It looks okay. I mean, the camera quality looks good You know, the specs look pretty good. But I've never physically owned one, so I can't really give my full opinion on that.
Mhm.
But another thing is the TikTok ban. That's what was kind of crazy. I don't know if is Microsoft still trying to get that, or how's that working?
Yes, they want it. Yeah, they're still looking to try and get it.
Yeah, Apple really shut that down though.
Yeah,
That's weird. I feel like they might have tried to get. A lot of people have been saying they've tried to get Microsoft to overpay.
it's possible. Yeah. I mean that sounds like Apple. It was funny. It was funny how quick it was. Apple wants TikTok, and then like I feel like a couple hours later, Apple's just like, we do not want TikTok. Like no way. like we're really quick shut down from them. And then Microsoft released like a blog post going, yes, we are very interested in acquiring.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wasn't expecting that though. I was not expecting both of those things.
You are younger, so do you use TikTok? Do you get it?
No, I've never used it in my life, and I never will. I never will. Especially if it's getting banned. If that happens.
Yeah, you won't even have a chance.
Right.
Yeah. See, Travis, he gets us so much. He's like, I don't use TikTok, and I never will. So
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I think people in the chat will like that as well. Definitely don't use TikTok. We against it. We canceling TikTok as if we can get around to that.
We're canceling TikTok, and we're trying to get the Mkbhd train going here.
Yeah, I hope Viper can pull through and get that set up.
Yeah, he was through here somewhere earlier.
Yeah, so
we'll get it.
Yeah,
it's cool though. The TikTok. I was gonna say something. Go ahead. I'll remember what I was gonna say. I always forget what I'm going to say, so it's
fine. Hey, I forget everything I was going to say, which is why Travis has such a hard time dealing with me sometimes. So.
Yeah, no. So, real quick, as we're getting ready to close up here in a minute, is there anything you want to say to the about this past week and the things you want to accomplish before the end of the year?
Well, I just want to say pretty much thank you. It's kind of crazy how everything happened so quickly. You know, I had 100 subscribers. I just hit 200 yesterday, and I woke up to like 400. So it was kind of crazy how everything kind of changed. See, people usually wouldn't call it a shout out, but Marquez just saying he's got a new subscriber is a shout out pretty much because of how much influence he has. That's pretty much a shout out. So that was cool. Yeah, but just thank you for all the support, everybody subscribing and stuff. And new content is all the way and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's cool.
And where can people find you on Twitter, YouTube, and all the things?
So Twitter, at Real Top Tech Geek on Twitter. Instagram, Top Tech Geek. YouTube, youtube.com/Top Tech Geek. Yeah, that's all my socials. Oh, Facebook, facebook.com/The Top Tech Geek.
He did a better job than Greg. Greg is like Gregory McFadden, Greg's Gadgets. You don't know where to find him. You literally, there's just no way you can find Greg anywhere.
That's true. I didn't think that through. But I did get my real name on Twitter, which I feel like I can never let that go.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Look, I had to get Real Top Tech Geek. I tried to get Top Tech Geek, but they didn't have it. Someone else had it. So I had to get Real Top Tech Geek.
Now we got a couple camp. You know, someone has
Look, it's crazy. They have it, but they're not using it. They're not even on Twitter. They just have it sitting there. So it's kind of like...
This is a good question. What do your parents think about all these things, or do they even know what's going on right now?
Oh, yeah, they definitely know. They definitely know, but they're happy for me. You know, they're like the support. They're like it's crazy how 2 months and this is already happening and stuff. So it's cool. We're all kind of just surprised that everything's happening so quickly, and you know, things like that. The view count is going up, the subscribers, all that. But you know, I'm still trying to get good content out and things like that. Yeah,
that's the right attitude. Get the content out. Just keep making more content. Keep growing. You're doing amazing things over there on your channel. I'm excited to see you keep growing. It's very exciting to see someone. I'm sure Travis will feel the same way. At your age, I was not thinking about doing anything like this. So to see someone as young as you are with as much talent as you have and as much drive as you have, there's no way if you keep this up that you're not going to be a success one day. So keep going at it. I want to see it.
Thank you.
I want to
But-
see you. I want to see you pass me in subscribers, and then I want to go. I knew him. He passed me in subscribers. I used to be bitter at him. I want to be a bitter old man complaining.
Yeah. One thing I want to, Travis asked, I forgot to answer it. By the end of the year, my goal is I want to have at least 1,000 subscribers, and that looks like it may happen from everything happening right now.
Yeah, seems reasonable. It's a reasonable number. So everyone in the chat, if you see it, we got 504 just posted the link to his channel. Feel free to check out Top Tech Geek here on YouTube. And thank you so much for joining us today, buddy. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Take care.
All right. That's enough for me. I got some stuff I need to do. We'll do One Question Go next time and some other fun stuff. Hopefully we'll have memberships, fingers crossed. And we'll do
We
some of
will
those.
have memberships. I'm gonna hold. You know what? Memberships by next show, or I quit. How about that? How about I make that promise to you right now?
That is a dangerous thing. But okay.
Next
Fair.
time we're gonna have memberships, and next week we'll do One Question Go. We ran out of time this week. Sorry guys if you wanted to do a One Question Go, but I also have to run pretty soon. So we'll do that next week. We'll have memberships up. It'll be a great show. Come back for more.
All right, guys. We'll see you again real soon. Peace and love. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.